Hi, I'm Stephanie Dresty. I'm here in the Oakcrest Learning Commons, and I've got 8 brand new books for you this week. You can listen to them all straight through, or if you'd like, you can click to just the ones that pop out to you by clicking on the links in the description box. Golden Gate is the second in the City Spies series, and it's a very spy school meets Charlie Thorne kind of story. The spies are young agents. They're teenagers, but they are actual agents in a special division of the British Secret Intelligence Service. And they're super valuable because they're so young, they can get into places that adults can't. In the first, they took down this villain in Paris. In this one, we have Sydney, who's a surfer from Australia. She gets assigned to go undercover on a marine research vehicle. She starts off looking for a kidnapper, and she and the rest of the crew end up all the way in San Francisco looking for a double agent. It's all fun and mystery, and I think many of you will like it. This is a really good one. Ellie is the best. You will love her character. Unfortunately, not every character in the book agrees, and it's all because of the size of her body. Even though she feels like she's doing everything she can not to draw attention to her size or herself, she's constantly getting bullied. Her mother is even worse than the kids at school. She's constantly making comments about her weight, and to top it all off, Ellie's best friend just moved away. The only place she feels she can be herself is at home in her own swimming pool, just stretched out like a starfish where she feels weightless. Luckily, she gets support from her dad, from her therapist, and from her new neighbor, who becomes a good friend, and she starts to stand up for herself. It's written in verse, which makes for a really quick read. It's really good. Anyone who's ever been impacted by bullying will find a hero in Ellie. It's March 2091, and Bell is living on Mars. He spent his whole life there, and he's a normal teen. He likes cats and cookies and making new friends. He's wondered, though, why all the adults on the Mars colony he grew up in are so isolated from the other colonies. And when this virus outbreak leaves all of the adults just kind of knocked down and out, it's the young ones like himself that have to go beyond their own colonies and seek out help. Belle is really likable and funny, and this is a great sci-fi novel for those who don't normally read sci-fi, because it's actually all about what makes us human. Bound is inspired by the original Cinderella story. Zing Zing's father passed away, and she's left to be raised by his terrible second wife, her stepmom, alongside her half-sister, who she has to spend most of her time taking care of. You see, the stepmom is desperate to marry off her half-sister because she has spent nearly all of the family's money, and they're all about to go broke. The characters, though, are a lot more interesting and a lot more three-dimensional than these Disney Cinderella characters that you're probably most familiar with. Her poor sister has to bind her feet every night because that's what's seen as desirable and beautiful, and that's what's going to get her a husband. You even kind of see where her stepmom is coming from because she has no other means of supporting her family other than to marry off her daughter. It's Zing Zing, of course, though, who is the most interesting. She dreams of more than she knows she'll be able to experience, and we're rooting for her the entire time, not to be saved by a prince, but to be able to live her dreams on her terms. It's a quick read, and it's a really great retelling of Cinderella. This is the sequel to The Nebula Secret, and it's full of action and mystery and adventure. It's a series, and it follows Cruz and 23 others from all around the globe who go to Explorer Academy, where they're training to be explorers. It's kind of like Semester at Sea, where they get to travel as school, so it's pretty amazing. Cruz is also hoping to learn some new skills to solve the mystery behind his mother's death. But once he gets there, he learns that his family has a very dark and mysterious connection to the academy, and it seems like someone there is out to get him. In this one, The Falconer's Feather, it picks up right where they left off, where Cruz and his crew are aboard the Orion. They're headed to Norway this time, and he and his friends are working on solving a clue left behind by his mom. And each clue leads them to a puzzle, which leads them to another clue, which is kind of neat because you as the reader actually get a chance to try to solve each clue as you're reading. It's a great series that has a great action adventure twist, and there are many more to read if you get hooked. We've also added another Minecraft novel. This one is all about Stax. He's from a small town. He likes his quiet small town life. One night, however, his home is raided. He's taken out, dropped off in the middle of nowhere, and he's never been alone before. But he's not alone for too long because he meets several travelers as he goes on this very long journey trying to find his way home. Minecraft fans are sure to love it. Perfect on Paper has been described as Leah on the offbeat meets To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Darcy runs this anonymous relationship service at her high school. People write down their issue, they leave it in a locker, and she helps to give them advice and to solve it. Even though she's never been in a relationship and she's actually secretly in love with her best friend, she gives pretty good advice, and people are willing to even pay for her help. One day, though, she's caught getting the letters out of the locker by Alexander, whom she despises, and he blackmails her into helping him get his ex-girlfriend back. But as typical of these rom-coms, she starts to experience some brand new feelings, maybe for him, and isn't sure after a while where her heart lies. But so many of these characters don't feel predictable or stereotypical. Darcy herself likes both guys and girls, and she and her sister, who's transgender, have the most awesome relationship. This is a just on the borderline high school title because of some of the things that come up when they talk about dating, but feel free to email me if that's within your comfort zone and your family's okay with it, and you're welcome to enjoy this very funny and clever romance. This is another high school title and another one about a girl in secret love with one of her close friends, but it's a totally different story. It's much heavier. This one is about Beth. Her parents' marriage has recently fallen apart, and she's decided she will do whatever it takes to keep her friend group together, even as they prepare to graduate and go off to college. And when they all learn that Jason is being abused by his father, they make a pact to stick together, no matter what, no matter where they go to school. The way it's written is kind of cool because it's actually written in the present and looking back at this time in her life. So we get to see how it all turns out. It's a really interesting look at how one period during your life when you make really important decisions has a lasting impact.